Alright, hey everybody, we're here today doing a video on meat cutting, specifically ribeyes. We're going to change this up just a little bit compared to what we've been doing. The spec is still 12 ounces for the ribeyes, both marinated and unmarinated. But here we go. I've already started breaking down this loin for speed of video here. Basically what I did is I removed the top cap. I trimmed off the top of the lip, which was a little excessive, and then squared the lip off, just like we're doing right now. So that leaves a nice equal lip on the bottom. And then when we flip it over on the rib side, we're looking for those fingers and the bones, the little feather bones, just like we do. If you look really close right here, there's a little piece of, it's a little piece of white connective tissue that was belonged to the rib. That needs to come off. And this does not happen on every rib. Very few of them actually, but that's the only thing we need to take off the bottom side. We don't need to trim anything else unless it's hanging off and falling off. So we're gonna flip it back over, which I've already taken the first cut. This is exactly what we're doing right now. So I took the first cut, it's nice and square. If it wasn't square, I'd have to square it off, but this one's okay. So I take the square cut and we're shooting for a finished weight of 11 and a half to 12 and a half ounces. Our spec is 12. This one right here, I cut a little bit larger on the end, so it's 14.6. So here's the difference and the reason for the video. Instead of taking any fat off, whether it be the bottom side or the tail square, we're gonna lose all this fat right here. And this is a reason for some of the comps, and we haven't had a bunch lately, but we're gonna take that edge or the whole piece of that tail off, which is opposite what we were doing, and that's going to leave us within spec 12.4 ounces. So I'm going to do one live here, put that aside, and we're going to cut. We're shooting for somewhere around 13 ounces. This one's going to be a little bit heavier, 14. Okay, so the two places that we're going to take it from is first we're going to trim the tail down so there's no tail fat. We're going to square it off so it doesn't burn. We're going to check the weight. Now if we need more, we're going to take it off this top side right here. Okay, so that's a little bit over spec, but we've already trimmed it down. So we're not going to do origami anymore. We're not going to trim it down to an equal 12 and a half. This is fine to go to the customer, 12.8. That tail is trimmed down. We're going to do it again one more time. So we're going to go down. We're going to shoot for 13 and a half, 14 ounces. There's 14. We're going to take everything off the tail. We're going to trim it down. That's 13. And we're going to trim that fat. And again, we're slightly over the mark at 12.8. That's okay. We're going to give that to the guest instead of trimming it down and using it for 2 beef or anything like that. So one more time. We're going to take the steak. We're going to cut it down. We're going to go a little bit over. That's 15. It's a perfect example. Now we're going to trim that down, square it so it doesn't burn, take some of that top fat, and we're going to be a little bit heavier than we were before. 13.2. Our spec is 11 and a half to 12 and a half. Now this one's large on purpose because that's going to the guest. We're going to stop going and trimming this end down here to try to make it a perfect 12 and a half. We're not doing this. We're going to go ahead and serve that guest 13.2. And one last time, just because I want to. We're going to go a little bit heavy. Okay, 14.4. We're going to trim the tail completely, square it off, and see where we stand. Okay, 13.2. This is the only part where we're taking it, that top piece, not from the bottom. We're going to lay it down. We're slightly over. That's going to the guest. Okay, that's it right there. We're going to do the same exact thing on ribeye. I'm sorry, on prime rib. The prime rib, after it's cooked, should have that same cut to where when it hits the plate, all that excessive fat on the prime rib is going to be removed. And I'll be visiting each of you. If you have any questions, give me a call. Thank you very much.